What up, everybody? This is Marquis.
And AD.
You are listening to the Painkillers. We just came to talk
your pain away. You know
That's it, man. You know, that's all we do.
Yeah, man. I'm
Season
excited.
2, bro.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
AD, what we talking about today, though, bro?
So it's crazy because we're here to talk your pain away, but we're going to talk about some pain. We're going to talk about this COVID situation. We kind of mentioned it in the first episode.
Catch up.
And we both have had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're about to talk about, we getting the shot, we getting the vaccine, we not getting the vaccine, who got the vaccine, who don't got the vaccine, type of situation.
It's like this, it's the new debate, man. It's
just
it
like,
is. I've seen people lose friendships over this conversation. I've seen people lose jobs over this conversation. I've seen people get kicked out of church over this conversation. So let's have the darn conversation.
Let's talk about it.
Hey, we coming right back with you, patience. Stick lockhead.
If there's some medication I could take to make me wanna hate you and kill this ache. If there's some medication I could take, no, I would do it. But they don't got a pill for
All right, guys, so we jumping straight in, man. Let's have this conversation about this COVID, this pandemic, the vaccinations, and what's
the effects
happening,
of it.
the
Yeah,
effects,
man.
Like, for real, And I think right now it's so new, and so everybody has their perspective, and everybody has their opinion. But at the end of the day, man, we just going to have a conversation about it and see where we are,
Yeah.
So AD, everybody's talking about it, the variants, it keeps mutating, everybody should be vaccinated. Some people's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
People paying for vaccination cards.
Yes, sir.
It's everywhere right now. So, what do you feel?
All right. So I was super on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Right. So, our listeners know, we both had COVID.
Yes.
After I had COVID, I decided to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I was really against the vaccination. Starting out, for one, I felt like, all of a sudden y'all find a remedy and it was not FDA approved. It was just like, let's just start getting these shots.
Right.
So I held off, got FDA approved. I still was like, I'm still on the fence about it. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Then got COVID. When I got COVID, I was like, I might get the shot, but understanding that it wouldn't stop me from getting it. It just minimizes minimizes the effects of it. Right. So I was like, I don't want to be sick at this same level.
Right.
So if I was to get it, but then also too, man, after, I'm auditioning for stuff, roles, they make it mandatory, you know what I'm saying? And they are not just looking at your vaccination card. They are making sure they're calling,
of course,
and verifying to make sure.
Yep.
And even though it's only so much that people can, expose or whatever, they can just call and make sure that it's an actual lot.
Yeah.
So there are lot numbers on your cards, people. This is how y'all get caught. Because your lot numbers don't actually match the location, or it's not an actual lot number.
Yeah.
So they can verify by the lot number.
Yeah.
So so I decided, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get it. And it came really from, I got auditions and on sets and movie sets and so forth and so on. But then also, man, just having conversations with my loved ones, people that I'm consistently around, my mom, and stuff like that. Like my mom was really like, she was really pushing for it. She got it. And I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and my biggest thing, I was having a conversation with another loved one, and she was just pretty much just saying like, like she's very acceptable to it because of her immune system. So I was like, I'm gonna make this decision because this decision really wasn't even about me.
Right. For
It was
everybody
about
else. Yeah.
my capability to transfer it to people that I am around.
Correct.
And even though my immune system may be strong enough to handle it, I give it to somebody that immune system may not. And then, man, like that's a major
It's
weight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To say not just like God, like not just I was responsible for getting them sick, but like God forbid if it goes
Yeah.
further.
Yeah.
So like for me, I just made that decision because of that.
Yeah.
I understand like people have every right to get it or not.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yo, like that's their decision. Like if they don't.
And that's my biggest thing. I just feel like let people have a choice.
Exactly.
Like if everybody's going to be shamed because they choose it differently than you, then what's the whole point of having it as an option? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I have no problem. I'm not for or against it. I
Mhm.
feel like I always been a rebel
Yeah.
since I was young. Like that's just my nature,
Yeah.
period. So whenever someone comes up and like
You
backs me
gotta
into
do
a
this.
corner, it's just the nature of my rebelness is just automatically gonna come out.
Yeah.
Because people ask me all the time, like, yo, are you for it or against it? I'm like, neither.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have a preference or anything. It's just what you're not gonna do is put me in a corner and say you're going to do this or force me to do this. And then on top of that, man, I'm scared of needles. I know I'm grown, but I'm scared of needles, y'all. Like
It's
like I know it's this small.
Yeah.
Y'all should see how I act out when I go get a needle.
Oh my God.
It take
Like-
doctors to hold me down, bro.
Oh my. But now I
wish
will.
I had a video.
I wish we had a video. And next time you got to get a shot, I'm going with you.
Record it.
I'm gonna
telling
record
you, bro. I'm telling you.
But what I will say, it is the same as getting a prick in your finger. It is
Yeah.
because what they did with it, my mom being a nurse and
Mhm.
all that stuff. I knew or I learned at a young age like the different gauges of needles, how thick that needle has to
True.
be or how thin.
True.
They have literally used the thinnest gauge that they could literally find, like because you got kids getting it, so forth and so on. So like literally like, but now what I will tell you is that you'll be sore afterwards, and I mean like that night or that next day, like my
Yeah.
arm was super sore, and it affects you differently,
Right.
everybody differently.
differently.
Yeah, because my arm was sore, and usually it's the second shot that usually gets
Gotcha.
people. The first shot got me.
Wow.
And but I just wanted to be the thing is for me it's the same way as when people like get the flu shot and not get the flu shot. I haven't had a flu shot in a long time.
I've never had a flu shot.
You know what I'm saying? So like I had a flu shot in a long, like I'm talking about probably like 15 years, 20 years, like you know what I'm saying? But people don't shame me for not getting the flu shot.
Right.
I think that this and the reality of it is that when the flu came out, people were dying from the flu
That's true.
until we found, flu shot,
Yeah.
and then also to certain immune systems built
Yeah.
up to to
Yeah.
fight it. So I think we're in the middle of or we're in the middle of like this new I mean, and the thing is it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Right.
I think that's the thing that terrifies people and makes people want to say, hey, you need to get this, you need to
Right.
get this, you need to get this,
Right.
mainly because they're saying I don't know when this is ever going to be
Right.
an end.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we've literally seen people like last year. We saw they said LeBron had it.
Mhm.
Like LeBron had the shot, but boom, he got it. I know plenty of people that got the shot
Right.
that
Of
tested
course.
positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
then it's like because that was my whole hesitancy. Then why am I getting it?
Yeah.
But I think it was just when I started thinking about, do I ever want to feel this way again?
Right.
I don't want to feel this way. So
Yeah.
let me take something that'll help me.
And that's a true
feel as
fact,
bad.
you know what I'm saying? I think that's very relevant, and to make sure that everyone around you, like you said, are protected so that they don't get it like that, So I get it. I totally get it, man.
Yeah.
And my I have this thought too, because I'm one of the ones that like when it comes to my kids, I don't do like the vaccinations and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and it's a huge conversation because you have some parents who do vaccinate their kids when they're born, and then you have some that don't. You know, then of course when you don't vaccinate your kids, they can't go to public schools and stuff like that. But it's an ongoing subject. I don't think what we're talking about today is new. You know, I think it's new for the masses.
Yeah.
Because it's getting so much light and so much attention that we're forced to have the conversation. And I do believe that vaccines definitely can save lives, definitely can protect us, definitely can. But at the same time, everybody's body is designed differently. So everyone's body reacts differently too, you know? And so, you know, I think it really comes down to those individuals. Yes, everyone should do everything in their power to be protected and to cover their loved ones and family and the world, you know, as we are seeing this thing continue to mutate and change, you know. It's definitely crazy to be living in this time and seeing everything that's happening and conversations that's happening. It's just
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've seen families,
Fall out.
friends, jobs like
Fall out.
over this conversation.
Fall out. But I mean, but also there is for me, I think that there's, I'm not going to say more because I'm not going to compare it, but I think that there is such a mental effect that this whole pandemic and COVID
100%.
has put on us in a way that honestly continues to separate us. I think you know, and I don't want to be too deep into it,
Right.
but I think now we look for ways, or things come up in ways to divide us even the more.
Yeah.
And whether that is race,
Correct.
whether that is
Vaccinations,
you know, political,
politics,
like all of this stuff is divisors.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I want to divide, you know, the people. It's like, yo, we're going to divide black and white. Now we're going to divide blacks by politics. Then we're going to divide blacks by vaccinations. Then we're going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it continues to make this division that that is continually happening.
Yep.
And so, man, like, so for me, and then also like, we got to talk about like the mental effects that like quarantining has had.
Yeah, on our society,
Man.
just as a whole, you know?
Man.
Like, I think a lot of people realize who we thought were good. Once they were quarantined, you realize some other stuff just came to the surface and they weren't good.
Yeah, man. And like, and you know, I've had to, through counseling and so forth and so on, like, because man, through quarantine, like when I was quarantined, you just, what's your thoughts?
Yeah.
It's a
Yep.
terrible place to be at times.
Bingo.
Like, what am I, like, why is my mind thinking that? Like, and so, man, it's just, so I think that we've had to work through that.
Yeah.
Then also, like, from the standpoint of what are we doing now to strengthen not just our bodies with, you know, whether you're getting the vaccine or you're not getting the vaccine, or if you're trying to just build your immune system. Because like now, like I'm trying to do stuff to build my immune system, have my immune system strong.
Right.
But then also, what am I doing to build my mental health?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because this situation has played. Yeah, it's holistic, man. Like this situation has played on my mind so much and frustrated me, made me angry at times. Made me happy I wasn't around people at certain times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gave me
way of escape.
And listen, and gave me an excuse to get out of a lot of events. Yeah. Nah, fam, I don't feel like, man, wait a minute, it's too many people. No, I ain't going.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's true.
Like, but I also think it's hindered us because now people don't want to be around people. They don't want to hug people. They don't want to like, you know what I'm saying? And like, these are things that made up our amazing culture.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, it's
I
hindered.
mean, you said something cool, very important, like the goal to separate us or keep us from each other. Like, you know, they labeled it social distancing.
Yeah.
When it's really not social
It's
distance.
not social at all.
It's literally physical distance.
It's not social at all.
But that social part, naturally, we're supposed to fellowship and socialize.
Like, and, you know, I talked about this in the first episode, like, the thing that I'm missing, like, in LA is that community, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, even though I'm a loner, you know, and that's what one thing we got in common. Like, you know, like, so I can be off to myself, like, and be good for days. But then I get in this mode where I'm like, I want to be around people.
You crave it.
Yeah. I crave it. But then what happens when you're craving that and then you can't get that. Like, so it's like, yo, I want to be around people, but then you around people and then everybody is leery. Everybody like, standoffish. And then it kind of creates that separation because sometimes we need that.
Yep.
We need that community. We need that interaction.
Yeah.
And we're not getting it.
Yeah, that connectivity, man, is important. It's just like electric. You know, you got to have that positive, negative. You got to have that plug that can connect to something. And it's the same with us as humans. Like, we get something out of it. The same way we get something out of the sun. We get something out of connections. We get something out of fellowship. We get something out of friendship. We get something out of platonic. You know, all these things are important to us. You know, like they talk about just holding hands and what it does.
Yeah.
And on the, you know, like.
And I don't even like the hold hands.
I know, but they say it has so
maybe
much,
that's why I'm jacked up.
Man, they said holding hands. They said it releases so much stuff for
endorphins
and all that kind of stuff. But also they said cuddling too, like just being held. You know, they got companies that will cuddle with you for 30 minutes or an hour. And
I wouldn't like that.
I understand, but I'm just saying it has benefits. AD. Seriously, like cuddling, like just being held, and that security, that safety, that connectivity.
Which this is probably
so you can't cuddle. You're not a cuddler?
No. So we got to talk about this in another episode. I'm not saying I'm not a cuddler. I am a selective cuddler. and this is the thing, boom. I think this is the reason why I'm probably the way that I am. I am not consistent in my desires for certain things. So like, I'm not a consistent cuddler.
I get it.
I'm not a consistent PDA person.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can be like because and here's the thing.
Hold on, but is this a learned behavior?
It's and I was just about to say.
Okay.
I wasn't always like this. I came to this point.
Yeah, you grew to that.
I grew to that. And if I was
now, are you comfortable with that now and satisfied?
I don't know if I'm satisfied. I think I'm comfortable because I'm just like, oh, this is kind of how I am. But I don't think that I'm
gonna
satisfied.
start holding AD's hand, y'all. But no, I think it's a real thing though, because I think I agree with you. I do believe that we can grow to those places because of our experiences and our context, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like for me, when I get new information, I'm interested to see if it's really true and if it really works.
So you trying to tell me, in other words, that you were cuddling with somebody because it was an experiment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, seriously, I just wanted to see, like, does it really have that effect that everybody talking about? It's like, let me see if it really works. So like, I'm like you, like, I'm a loner, so I don't like to cuddle. I don't like to do it, but I was like, let me just see if it works.
I'm like, hey girl, come over here and cuddle. So it's an experiment.
Can you just hold me?
It's an experiment.
Hold on, you just want me to hold you? You don't want nothing?
It's an
I just
experiment.
want you to hold me. That's it. Just hold me.
I ain't trying to be with you.
Hey,
I want to experiment.
But can you wear your mask though?
It's an experiment, girl. Get on over here. Let's try it.
But it really worked though, AD.
It did?
It did, bro. Like I fell asleep. It felt good just to be held. I was like, dang, like that's, like, I don't know, but it's true, I guess.
I don't know, man. I think my thing is I think a learned behavior, man. I probably cut off certain aspects of my emotions.
Of course.
Like, oh man, this turning into something.
Though.
I don't like it. Let's get back to COVID. Now shit.
COVID is what got us
here. Y'all getting on my nerves.
We gotta come back full circle.
Okay, all right, back to COVID.
Back to COVID.
Because man, yeah, my emotions.
We got there to connectivity,
exactly,
social distancing.
But I do think, and even like this hoodie I got on, this brand, it's called Antisocial Social Club. Like it's an antisocial social club, but like
it's an oxymoron.
Exactly, but
a dichotomy.
Exactly,
yeah. And
people have praised the idea of being anti-social. I'm anti, like I don't want to be around people, like, and we praise that. But oftentimes we still need that.
Yeah, we need it.
And when we're not getting that, there are certain things that we're missing, certain aspects, certain interactions that we're missing. I think that a lot of our children right now that are being raised, especially in the middle of a pandemic, are missing the
Yeah.
social
Aspect of life.
the social aspect of life.
Mhm.
So, what are they going to always lend towards? Their
Entertainment.
entertainment, their iPads, their
Mhm.
because
Yep.
parents are going through their mental stuff
Yeah.
through a situation they've never experienced before.
Facts.
Then you got the iPad, and it's like, yo, go watch that because they
Yeah.
stressed out,
Yep.
and so they're still missing that social interaction.
Yeah.
And then I'm the worst. I be around people, but be in my own
Mhm.
world, and I be in my phone. I be taking notes. I be writing all types of
Facts.
stuff. So like I'm the worst at it, but I'm
Facts.
also looking at kids like they'll be
Yeah.
in the middle of a moment and not catching a moment
Yeah.
because they're like disconnected.
Mhm.
It's the idea on one of our episodes, like like we were talking to Eric. Every time I'm around Eric, I show up to one of Eric's things or whatever, Eric will always say like, I have my phone out, and Eric will be
Yeah.
like, be present, man, be present.
Stack them phones, bruh.
He'll say it all the time, and I just be like,
Yep.
man, I'm doing something, or and but that's hard, and I think that COVID actually has now like intensified that,
Mhm.
because it's like, yo, what ways are all right? So we got social distance, we got quarantine. What ways
Yeah.
can we be social?
Mhm.
Social media,
Yep. There you go. And now we get in the metaverse.
man,
So we able to, it's
and that metaverse is crazy.
facts.
I got a friend that works for Meta.
Yeah.
Now I was gonna say Facebook.
Yeah.
And they were just like, like they sent me a video like the Meta universe,
Mhm.
like watching like movies with like your people, like
Yeah.
yo, meet me.
Yeah.
And they're talking
At
about
that
like
place,
real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
all of
talking. Yeah, we was talking to Eric. I was talking to Eric about that. Like you talking about the real estate that can be purchased
Mhm.
in Metaverse, and
Yep.
like if people want to come to your office space in Metaverse,
They
what?
can virtually do it. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's a whole new vibe, man. And the pandemic has pushed us to this, place.
Push us
like-
to this place.
But the other part is that it's accelerated. So it's the conversations, the adaptations are happening so quickly.
Yeah.
Like I never would have thought that we would have adapted this fast.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
NFTs, Bitcoin, everything.
All of it, yeah.
Yep.
It's a whole new way of life. And so I would say to those that are listening to us that this is a very serious situation that we're in as a nation, as a world,
Yeah.
and that it should be taken serious, and that we should definitely protect not only ourselves but the people around us. As you said, AD, being vaccinated and making sure that you're doing what's necessary for everyone around you, and also to dispel some of the myths, man. Like, I don't believe that they're putting chips in anybody. I don't believe that they're, going to kill you or
Yeah.
things. I think that a lot of that stuff that makes people leery is because of what's floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just that, myths. Myths come from someone who creates a story, and that story is passed on to someone else, and someone believes it, and it continues to go on.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those things has to be dispelled as well. And get educated. Like, talk to your physician, go to your doctor. Don't just Google stuff.
Yeah.
Like really talk to people who are in those arenas, and talk to them about it. Ask the questions so that you can get the answers, and then get to that place of peace where you can do it. But I also want to say to those who are, have been vaccinated and everything, like, don't make the person that you love or that you are in connection with feel a certain way when you have that conversation with them and they're not vaccinated. I think
Mhm.
we got to still keep love at the center of it all,
Yeah.
and how we discuss it. I think that's also a harder thing too,
Yeah.
because if you're a person who's turned off very quickly and easily, and that person comes to you and it feels almost like an attack or a force,
Mhm.
you may get, so I think we just need to find a way to have the conversations in a loving way and not a judgmental way.
Yes, sir.
And then we need to sit down and get the answers if we are on edge, and get
Mhm.
those answers. You know what I'm saying?
Have educated conversations.
Educated
not-
conversations.
Let's deal with the facts, and let's not just deal with what we heard.
Facts.
And dude, I'm so glad you said that. Stop Googling.
Yeah.
Like, because like, I love Google. I'm talking about stop Googling stuff like with your health and
Yeah.
like,
Because
listen,
Google will tell you getting ready to die.
any day now. It'd be
Yeah.
like, this person took the vaccine, and before they walked out of Walgreens,
yeah.
an arm came out of their head, and they mutated into cyborg. And you be like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like all of
Yeah.
those things, man, and you can just it just has such a negative effect.
Right.
Once you hear these things that are being said.
Facts.
So just being very careful
Yep.
about having an educated conversation about it.
Yeah. So patience, man. We're gonna give you our prescriptions for today.
Yeah.
As it relates to this, man. My prescription today is definitely this: is to do what will protect you. You know, if that's a vaccination or if that is getting the information from your physician, talking, having a conversation. Like, take the time out to educate yourself and to be educated by a professional.
That's it.
Because you just don't want to be all self-educated and no professional education. So my prescription is to do what is necessary to protect you and your family in our world. You know, have the sit down, talk to the physicians, ask the questions that you have. You have questions too, so you can get the good answers, the right answers,
The right one.
and not just the Google answers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the same thing. You know, my prescription would be definitely educate yourself, empower yourself, empower your family, get people around you that, you know, like really know what they're talking about and have those conversations. So yeah, man, I'm right there with you on that prescription.
Hey, so patience, man. Get yourself together, man. This is
That's
a
it.
real life situation we're dealing with called COVID and this pandemic. And listen, we may find a cure, we may not. We may live it for the rest of our life, but we got to do and take this serious and do what we need to do to protect ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and the world and the people around us. So
Yep.
I've been Marquis.
And I'm AD.
Hey, you've been listening to the Painkillers, man.
Yes, sir.
Till next time.
Till next time.